Everybody, guess what? We're back. Sorry, we had a little problem there, but Jon is back with us.
Yay!
We were talking about coffee. So you were telling me the French press, that's your jam.
I will tell you, a lot of people like the pour over.
Yeah.
The French press is where it is. You just soak the coffee in there and you just kind of press it out, give it, pour it in a cup and put some coconut sugar in it. It's incredible.
I've tried coconut milk recently.
I like that.
It was pretty good, I have to say.
I actually have not tried coconut milk. I need to try it.
Yeah. It was sweeter. It tasted sweeter than what I expected, but it was actually pretty good. So since you do the coconut sugar, that might be an option.
I'll mix both and just make it a whole coconut day. I'll see if I can find coconut coffee.
Coconut drink. Now, some people are all into the pumpkin spice flavors and some people aren't. What about you? Are you in?
My wife lives for pumpkin spice. I will tell you that. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's good every once in a while, like at the start of this whole season, it's good to have some pumpkin spice. I'm more of a fan of just pumpkin flavored things, not so much into the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I can go for good. Yeah. I was just going to say that.
I love it.
Pumpkin bread, pumpkin muffin, something. I don't necessarily want the pumpkin in my coffee, though.
I just want pumpkin, all the things minus the coffee. It's good. Again, when it first comes out, you have to get one.
Of course.
But past that, I'll go with pumpkin, everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now that we've moved on from coffee, we can talk about, you've got some new music. First, I want to talk about your time on The Voice. I love that show. It's a great show. I don't know. It doesn't get old to me for some reason. I feel like somehow they keep it fresh each season.
It's interesting. They have 2 seasons a year, and they're always keeping it fresh. The people that are on there are so talented, and it's just, I enjoy the people, and I really now so enjoy being part of the community, the Voice community.
Yeah, you've got some good people in that community. I mean, Kelly Clarkson was a judge for a while. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
She was so into it too. I loved her reactions.
She's incredible, and the way that she just talks to you about your voice is incredible, to be able to experience somebody as talented and as incredible as her, to be able to either give you tips or talk to you about how you sing. She's incredible. She's amazing.
Yeah. We got to talk about real quick. You were on Team Blake for a little while before you got stolen, but what was that like being working with Blake Shelton?
Blake Shelton is an incredible human being. I will tell you, it's usually you would think that on set you'd be so nervous, and the day you get to meet Blake, you've been waiting and waiting, and all of a sudden, it comes up to it. There's cameras everywhere. We get into the room and he's just like, "How are your families?" and just starts talking like he's known us for a while, which it's really cool to be able to talk to somebody who's that deep into the music industry and who's done what everybody hopes to do with their career. And he's just talking to you like a bud. And he's just such a great guy with a lot of incredible insight into singing, and to be able to use your instrument and to be able to tell a story. And so it was incredible being able to work with him.
Yeah. I have to say, I've only met him one time, but he is so tall. I didn't expect that, but he is so tall.
It's no joke. He, at the end of when I finished my song, he came up on the stage, and I will tell you what, I had just gotten done singing. You're looking in the lights and all the cameras and everybody's cheering, and I'm just kind of lost in the moment, and all of a sudden I feel my head buried directly into a chest, and I'm like, what's happening? And there's Blake. He comes and gives me a hug, and you know what? I did not have any clue how tall that guy is. I'm 6 feet, 6 foot, and so when you don't really expect to have that type of, I don't know. He's just a tall dude.
He is a tall dude.
Oh
I,
my Lanta.
I don't think it comes across in TV or any of his appearances. I feel like somehow he just doesn't look like he looks tall, but not like so tall.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they just like raise the camera up a little bit when they're shooting for him, or I don't know. Like they just, it is very deceptive on television. But once it actually comes down to it and you're face to face, that dude is a tall man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, fun little fact. Blake Shelton, we've agreed, is very tall. Tell us about life after The Voice.
Yeah, so life after The Voice, it's probably a little bit, I'm going to talk about the immediate life after The Voice, after filming for The Voice.
Yeah,
You go from spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, getting ready for camera or in front of the camera, or, spending time with people literally all day that are just as invested in their music and singing and perfecting their instrument as you are. And
yeah,
so it was interesting coming back to like real life because we were out there for a couple months, and
yeah,
coming back to real life was really interesting. Nashville is the hub for music and musicians and Music City. I think it made me hungrier to want to dive in to planting my feet into a group of people that are working just as hard as the people that were on The Voice or more. And I think I have definitely found it and really enjoyed every single moment of it. But when I got back and got done from The Voice, I was like, okay, those are some really fun covers. You get to sing other people's music.
right.
Now it's time to show people who I am. And I think that is the main thing that was on my mind. So the moment that I was able to release something, I released the acoustic version of Better Man on May 5th, and I was like, I'm gonna give people what I love, what I've written, and a piece of my heart. So I think that's the main thing after The Voice. Was just really wanting to get back into a heavy community, but then COVID happened, and
Right.
yeah, just a lot of
And
yeah, a lot of craziness. So
yeah, and here we are. You mentioned your song Better Man. You just released a video for that. Came out like a week ago. Well, more than
oh,
that, a
it
few
came
weeks
out.
ago.
Yeah, it seems like yesterday.
I know. I was like, I feel like just a week ago I was talking to you, but no, it was early in September. But I love this. This is like a
Thank you.
ballad. You wrote the song.
Mhm.
Tell us of the story behind the song, and I'm going to try not to cry because it's so. You guys gotta listen. It's emotional.
So a little quick overview of the song is it's a desperate love letter, um, telling the love of my life that I will do everything in my power to be the best version of myself I can for her and for me. And diving a little bit deeper, and my wife Whitney, about 4 years ago, she fell forward on concrete, hit her head, knocked herself out. We took her to the hospital. They said it was fine. It was just a small concussion. And then the next day, she started losing speech and motor functions. I don't think we were prepared for how hard our life was going to be for the next 4 years. We She started losing speech and motor functions, developed extreme anxiety, and started losing short-term memory. And we would have strangers that were doctors coming over to our house to try to rehabilitate her, and she wasn't able to go back to work. I would come home and I would make sure everything was fine. Music kind of hit the back burner, and that's okay because she's my wife, and I would do it all over again the same exact way. But
Right.
it was she was going through the hardest time in her life, feeling guilty that she couldn't go back to work. Um, and couldn't even put words together, and she was going through the hardest time in her life, and she couldn't even put a sentence together to communicate how she was feeling. And we both had to learn how to communicate together and recommunicate as a married couple who had, we had been together since 2007. This happened in 2014. So 2016 is when it happened. But we had to relearn how to communicate after being together for so long and learning each other. And when you're relearning how to communicate, it gets to the point where you're like, is it me? Is it
Yeah.
something I'm doing? Is it she would feel guilty because it was happening. I would feel guilty because we would have a an argument because we both wouldn't know how to express ourselves. We're both trying to learn how to be a married couple again. And so I wrote this song as the desperate love letter to tell her that I know we've got problems. I know we're going through a million things right now, and this is the hardest time in our lives. But no matter what, I will do whatever I can to be the best person that I can be for you and be whatever you need. And that song serves as a promise. And I'm glad it's the first song that I was able to put out. And my following songs, both of them are slower to mid tempo, the ones that are about to come out, but they
Right.
follow along the same story. They give you the middle and the end. And I'm really excited for everybody to hear them as well.
Wow. Yeah, it's really powerful. I hope everybody will go listen to it, Better Man. It's just incredible. You can tell it really is your heart pouring out through this
Thank
song
you.
because you wrote this song, right, by yourself?
I did.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you
Absolutely
so
amazing.
much.
How long did it take you to write this song?
It took, I will tell you, I wrote the first verse and the first chorus and the first and second verses and the chorus. I wrote them rather quickly.
Hmm.
I wrote them probably within a half an hour to an hour.
Oh, wow.
And then I tried writing a bridge. And I will tell you, when so many emotions come flooding to you at one time, sometimes it's hard to really hone them into, because the purpose of a songwriter is to tell a story in 3 lines or 4 or 5 lines
Which is
for a
hard to get the
verse.
message across, right?
Exactly. So, I had to find a way to make the purpose of the bridge is to sum up the whole entire song, but also give somebody a different flavor. And I wanted to sum up every tiny little thing that I was feeling at that moment. And it took me, I think, a few months. I would say a few months later, I revisited the song. This is when we were about to record it. And he was like, "You got to write a bridge for it." And I was like, "Okay." And just because we're going through some hard times doesn't mean we need to give up. I don't want to give up. Just because it isn't exactly what we thought doesn't mean we need to give up. Please don't give up. And that's just, it's saying I will fight. I will 1000% fight for us to relearn each other, for me to do whatever I need to do to continue this life with you. And that came out a couple months later, and I'm so glad it took that long because it was the perfect timing, and I was able to really gather those 4 years and just throw them into 4 or 5 lines.
Yeah. That in itself is a gift and an art, like you said, to throw 4 or 5 years into 4 lines. I'm in awe of songwriters that they can do that and really be able to relate to those of us who are listening to the song.
Yeah, it's a blessing, and it's something I don't take for granted. It's something I thank God for every single day.
So tell me about the making of the video, the music video released a few weeks ago. What was
Yes.
that like?
So the making, I will tell you what, we on purpose planned the release of the song and the video on the same day. And I was nervous about that because sometimes people release the song, then the video just to kind of give it an extra push. But I
Right.
was like, my my fan base, my family, my friends. I call my fans my family, FANMILY, because they're just part of this. They're part of this whole entire journey with me. They're not just, here to click on a video. They're living this with me, and so they had waited for so long for this. I had promised, in May, I promised it for June or July, and then COVID really took effect, and a lot of things changed. So I wanted to give them everything all at once. So I was like, let's do this music video. I worked with this incredible videographer out of North Georgia. His name is Brandon Kaywood. And I was like, dude, let's do a music video. I had known him for a while, so we worked incredibly well together. We recorded it at a place called Pentaveret Studios in Nashville. The funny thing about Pentaveret Studios is you drive up to it and you're like, this is a house. And you go into it and it's a multi-room studio, definitely not a house. And you go into it and it's such an unsuspecting, incredibly pristine studio with all these incredible things that all musicians hope to ever be able to use to record. And I walked in there, and the videographer Brandon, he sits with me and he's like, guess what, we're gonna get 4 or 5 different backgrounds or shots with this. And I'm like, how? And so he's got such a great eye. You know, that type of shoot would usually be about 4 or 5 different locations.
Right.
And so we went to the tracking room, to the control room, to the large performance room, the drum room. And the thing that kind of looked like it was my living room was actually the couch. Like, you know, when you sit, like you record something and then you sit back and listen to it in the
Right.
in the control room. It was
Yeah.
the couch in the control room, and I was like, this
Wow.
looks like a home space. So shooting that video took about 6 to 7 hours. I woke up at 7 a.m. that day. We shot from 9 to 3:30. And then I left there, had lunch with Brandon, and went and played a show that night. And I was just, it was absolutely insane. And I will tell you, music videos are put to the track. So you see the artist singing, but it's actually the recorded track. I want every single person watching this to know that for 6 hours that day, I sang my heart out. I belted that song. So when you see me singing, it's me actually singing, not pretending to sing. And I wanted to give that to every single person that watches the video. I wanted them to see the real performance and what it really means to me. And so there's been an overwhelming response to that video, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah, you can tell. I was actually looking at the comments on YouTube. I find it surprising that how many people found a clip of your video from TikTok. You have a huge following on TikTok. I had no idea. I mean, there was probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 people on YouTube who were saying they saw it on TikTok and they hadn't seen it yet. So I thought that was amazing.
It was definitely a blessing I mean, on TikTok, Better Man has 1.6 million views.
Unbelievable.
And it's the video and the song, and it has led to streams of the song on Spotify, on Apple Music. It's right now, I think it's at 2.2 million views / streams across all platforms. 2.2 million, and it's insane.
And it's only been out 3 weeks?
Less than 3 weeks. This is a dream. It literally feels like a dream.
Well, it's incredible. I think, like I said earlier, I think people see how much of yourself you put into this song, into the video, and it all comes through because, you know, we've seen other videos and songs that you're like, okay, they checked the box on this, you know?
They just sang this song. They just wrote this song.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's incredible. I encourage all of you guys to go check it out. Tell everybody where they can find your music. Obviously on TikTok. So
yeah, you can find it on TikTok. You can find, I will tell you, there's a hub for everything. It's jonmullins.com. If you go to jonmullins.com, there's a little thing that says Better Man out now. You click on it, and then it'll bring up a thing where you can literally click where you want to see it. But TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, it's Jon Mullins Official. Instagram is Jon Mullins Official. Twitter and YouTube will be Jon Mullins Music. Just never put that H in John because I've never had it in there and I never will.
That's good to know. Hey, it's great catching up with you. Thanks so much. Sorry about we had a little issue earlier.
Oh, no, Donna,
I'm glad it worked out because I couldn't wait to hear this story about your song and what you've been up to. And so I can't wait. There's 2 more songs. Do you know when they're going to release?
2 more songs. I have expected, which that can always change, expected release dates of 11/9 or earlier.
Okay.
And 1-9 or earlier. The next one should be Get to You, and the one past that is called Survive. So
Okay. Wait a minute.
I'm
Why
really
is there
excited.
a 9 in all of these? Because the one came out September 9th, right?
You
11,
know,
9, 9. I'm putting that together. There's a pattern.
I'm a little bit of a rule follower, and I think that people a little bit, like a tiny bit. When it comes to music, I try to break rules, but a little bit of a rule follower because I've been told that it's best to release, if you're doing singles,
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks afterwards. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, exactly. And
Okay.
well, there's been such an overwhelming response for Better Man that we may push Get to You to come out, not push, but pull Better Man in to coming out a little bit earlier than 11-9. But I like the continuance of the nines. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. I'm not sure.
Okay. Maybe instead of 11-9,
11.
10-29, 10-19. You can keep
Yeah,
a
I
9
need
in there.
some nine in there. Oh, but no, it's seriously, it's been incredible getting to hang out with you and talk with you. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for your support. It means the world to me. Seriously.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was fun. Always great to catch up. We've talked to several people from The Voice, and I always like to get everybody's perspective because they're a little bit different. So,
Yeah, it was a blast. I wouldn't have it any other way. Having the Voice family, all those artists, we all keep in touch and have like a little family. Whenever we're in town, we get to see each other, and that's probably one of my favorite things of the Voice is the community that it's helped build.
and there's quite a few actually in Nashville.
Yeah, we see each other pretty often, actually. So there's quite a few, even from this past season in
Yeah,
Nashville, which is incredible.
yeah. Well, keep up the good work, John. Keep putting out this
Thank
good
you.
music, but don't make me cry anymore. Okay, I can't cry on the next one.
I will try not to, but it might happen.
Oh, man. All right, you guys go check it out. You won't be disappointed. Jon Mullins, go check it out. Hey, great to see you again. Hopefully we can check in again soon. Maybe after those other releases, we'll come back and chat.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect. Good to see you. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.